Callie is a hostage of hate, which is sad. I'm sure she'd much rather be a hostage of love.
Argo Font Book Review. Argo Font Book Review.
The Hardys are in Washington, D.C., attending a counterterrorism seminar. As part of the seminar, they're doing a fake airplane hijacking. Frank's girlfriend, Callie, is going to be one of the victims. I would love to hear how she convinced her parents to let her go to this event. Hey, Mom and Dad, can I go to DC so I can be attacked by terrorists? All the other kids are doing it, please? The fake airplane hijacking turns into a real airplane hijacking when two terrorists appear with Uzis. It's amazing they were able to get away with this right in front of every anti-terrorist group in the country. The terrorists are led by an unknown villain named the Dutchman. He promises they'll release their demands via videotape sometime soon. The hostages read scripted messages to a camera. Luckily, Frank and Callie have developed a secret language together so they can send messages to each other by blinking. Yes, blinking is their secret language. So when Callie's on camera, she sends the message, "Frank, only two on plane, help, bomb real." I find it impossible to believe that she could deliver such a long, complicated message by blinking without anyone else noticing. Frank tries to get help, but an officer named O'Neill refuses to listen. So Frank does the logical thing. He gets his father to... No, just kidding. He actually smashes O'Neill on the ground and yells at him. Immediately afterwards, Frank learns O'Neill is in charge of U.S. espionage resources and the rescue operation. Oops. The Hardys talk with the network, but as usual, their spy friends can't help them today, because that would make the mystery too easy. So the Hardys decide to watch the area where the press is working. They see a culprit deliver the terrorist videotape. It's easily recognized because the tape is in a bright red box. For a covert operative, this guy is pretty conspicuous. Frank gets into a fight with the culprit, who has a knife. Joe pretends to be on the culprit's side in order to gain his trust. The culprit says you can reach the Dutchman by talking to Lonnie at an ice cream shop. So they talk to Lonnie. He says they could reach the Dutchman by talking to Pia at the university. Yeah, each person sends them to another person. It's like the culprits are playing a game of telephone. The police show up. Lonnie realizes he's been double-crossed and he tries to kill the Hardys. O'Neill orders the Hardys off the case, and he tries sending them back to New York, but they escape and they go after Pia. Pia is a skinny, scary-looking girl who wears all black. Frank and Joe pose as foreign spies, and they make headway with her when the police show up again. Pia leads them through an underground tunnel to a woman's clothing boutique, where she takes a moment to change her hair and her clothes, so now she looks like a super hot babe. All the girls in this series are hot. So when the police arrive again, Joe starts making out with Pia as a distraction. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's not the real reason why you wanted to make out with her, Joe. The police officer correctly assumes Joe is an idiot, and he moves on. Pia slaps Joe for kissing her because she's more of a Frank fangirl. The three of them go north, but there's a police blockade on the bridge, so they cross the bridge on the underside, but O'Neill is waiting for them. They can't let him blow their cover, so they attack him and knock him out. Pia takes them to the Dutchman, who recognizes the Hardys. There's another fight at this point, and Joe manages to knock the Dutchman unconscious by throwing a can of soda at his head. Wow. Also, Pia is furious to learn that she was tricked. She complains she actually liked Frank. Love drama. This is the point where Frank and Joe should alert the proper authorities. I mean, they've captured the leader of the terrorists, but instead, they go to the plane and confront the terrorists themselves. Frank and terrorist number 1 get into a showdown over a bomb detonator. The terrorist tries shooting Frank, then he tries hitting Frank with the gun. Then he tries killing everyone with a hand grenade, but Hallie jumps up and chokes the terrorist with her belt. Frank is so lucky he's dating her and not Pia. Joe's showdown with terrorist number 2 is less exciting. Terrorist number 2 tries to fly the plane, but they clog the jet engines by throwing pillows and blankets into them. Terrorist number 2 tries setting off a bomb using materials that Joe dropped, but turns out Joe has just dropped modeling clay and not explosives. The plane is saved, and at Frank and Joe's request, O'Neill agrees to help cover up their role in the rescue. Joe gives Frank a hard time about Pia's crush on him right in front of Callie. She is not amused. The end. Post-book follow-up. This is very much an action book with lots of fighting. You'd think that after the third or fourth time, the Hardys would decide to go into battle with actual weapons, but no! It's always them with their fists against terrorists who have knives, bombs, Uzis, and hot chicks. The story is easily the weakest part of the book because there is no real story, it's just the Hardys bouncing from person to person until they reach the Dutchman. There are 2 chapters that focus on Callie inside the plane. It was a change of pace to get Callie chapters without any Hardys around. Those chapters had a lot of suspense, and they're the highlight of the book in my opinion. If they replaced 1 or 2 of the terrorist chapters with more Callie chapters, I wouldn't complain. I also wouldn't mind seeing a Fenton chapter, as he didn't do much in this book. Overall, it's a mindless action book. There are better ones in this series, but if you're looking to see the Hardys beat up terrorists, this one will work just fine. I give Hardy Boys Casefiles number 10, Hostages of Hate, a 6 out of 10. And if you like this book review, I take commissions on Patreon. Just click on the link, it's on your screen. I'll take you to my Patreon page, and you can pay me to review whatever book you want.